Yo, what is good, my Quick Crypto family and my Coin Factory family? Back again with another daily Casper and crypto live stream. And we have a very interesting topic to discuss in today's stream. I'll be seeing it flooding all over Twitter and even my community, my Coin Factory community, the past few days, talking about the fact that the White House has a node that apparently is mining Casper. We're going to be getting into that in this stream today, the truth of the matter, whether it is true or not, along with a lot of other very bullish Casper news and equally some market updates as well. In regards to the market updates right now, we can see that Casper is currently one of the few assets, if not only, apart from XCM right now, it's up 43%, which is insane, to say the least, for XCN. I did make a video on it one time as well, and I did say it's very volatile. The connections could make it a decent small bag if you choose to diversify into it, but other than that, most assets right now are down. Bitcoin's down 3.62% on the daily time frame. Ethereum's down almost 9%. XRP is down 4%. Casper is one of the few right now that's holding relatively strong, currently only up by 0.17%, valued at 6.8 cents. It's seemingly trying to find some perch, some safe haven, if you will, just below this level of resistance here, just before 7 cents. And hopefully we can see it break above further. Right now it has broken out of this downward sloping wedge right now, so hopefully you'll see Casper start to just trade between this zone for the foreseeable, couple of weeks or so, and then we will hopefully see the price start breaking through the level of resistances and push towards higher final support, somewhat up higher, to then go on its own little rally. I'm optimistic for Casper, and based on the information we have today, like the inflation data, I'm hopeful that going into May and even June and potentially further on, we'll have to see about that, but I'm hopeful we'll start seeing some nice relief rallies as Bitcoin typically follows along to the M2 supply as well. We can see that it's currently doing quite well in that regard, following along to it quite nicely, and therefore meaning we should start seeing, provided there's no red herrings, no unexpected situations, so to speak. So again, more tariff news basically. If nothing unexpected, we should hopefully see Bitcoin start to make a push up to the levels in conjunction to the M2 going into May, June. We'll get all of that again throughout this stream. As always, if you enjoy this daily content, feel free to leave a like, helps it more than you know, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And welcome back everyone to the channel once again. Kevin, brother, first, I guess. Yes, you are first indeed. Welcome back, my man. LB, on the check-in. Mr. Miles, where you're at. Mr. Miles, he has been here and there. I think he's got a lot of stuff going on right now. So he's not been as active in the live streams, unfortunately, which, well, I say unfortunately, it means I'm not getting bullied as much anymore, which I guess is kind of a good thing, but his face is definitely being missed, his presence, no doubt. But I'm sure he'll be back, he's been here through thick and thin, and I am confident that he'll be back when he is, when he's able, when he's able. But I'm sure, again, it's just a matter of time, and we'll enjoy his jokes and his presence once again very soon. But I'm sure at the same time we have started streaming about 20 minutes later than usual, and that gives him a better opportunity to join the stream as well, because it's early mornings, I think, where he's out in his time zone. So maybe he'll join later on the stream, who knows. Welcome back, Nima. Hope you're doing very well. Do you expect price will go up until May 5th? It's a good question. If I'm being perfectly honest, no. Again, I could be definitely wrong about this, but my prediction, not financial advice, is that we'll see markets in general and Casper in that regard as well. Again, this is off the basis that nothing else goes wrong, and by wrong I mean no more surprise tariffs and trade wars and war in general. Everything goes kind of according to how it's going right now, which is still uncertainty, but it's not too bad after Trump pulls the tariffs as well. If we get that, I suspect we'll see the markets chop sideways for about a month or so leading up to May, and then we'll start seeing the market hopefully make a relief rally and start to make some move upwards going into May and June time. It won't be a direct, sideways. It'll be kind of like probably up, down like this, and then start to make a move upwards, I'm hoping. And I'll explain more so why throughout the stream regarding to the macro development and also Casper news as well. The White House has a rogue employee who runs a node against policy, and the story is at least 15 months old. Yeah, so I was going to get a little bit into the story in just a moment. The exact reasonings and truth behind it is still very much a grey area. That very well could be the reason for it. They have a rogue employee who runs the nose against policies. But this actually is an old story. The reason why it's reoccurring right now is, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure why this source is kind of popping up right about now. But this is a story that has been about for over 2 years, actually. Or at least 2 years ago, which the Reddit page here also proves as such here as well. We'll get into this again in just a moment before I answer all the pleasantries, but seemingly right now there is a belief as proven that there's a node running in and around the Whitehouse of Casper, a Casper node running in the Whitehouse. So exactly why and what about it, well, I'll get into in just a moment, because it's interesting again, because for how dated this is, that will therefore mean it's the Biden administration, not the Trump White House, the Biden White House, which would be even more rogue and weird because Biden, as we know, was very, very anti-crypto in general. QC on CoinGlass on liquidation heat map at time frame of 3 months. I saw almost every asset, Bitcoin, Casper, Morpho, and one of my focus at the moment got an explosive liquidation going up. I am mega bullish. I think right now I'd argue the markets are kind of priced in near the bottom. Again, macro news that comes out as a surprise could definitely affect the market more drastically. But right now I think that a lot of institutions, a lot of exchanges, a lot of retailers are starting to size back in a little bit. Some have been scared out, and we'll get into that again in the stream as well. But I think a lot of them are starting to size back in. There's a lot of liquidation coming back as well. There's still some huge sell walls that are preventing prices from moving. Like I'm sure Casper's got a big one around here. But from what I am aware of, at least from last week, that past this sell wall here, there isn't much resistance going up from here. There's going to be also more. There's going to be more walls that are formed as the price starts to rally. You'll see another one just pop up, with the exchanges trying to keep the price down a little bit longer to accumulate more cheap prices. But right now, I think the big sell walls here, and then after that, it's kind of not as strong. So it could give us a pretty good jump upwards when the time is right. There's a node in the White House. Yes, there is. There is indeed. So we'll get into that right now before I get into the pleasantries. Don't worry, I've not forgotten about anyone who's just said hello, but I'll get to that in a moment. So to start off with, we've got some Casper news, and then we'll get into the big macro news, because there's a lot to cover in today's stream, as always. To start off with, which is quite interesting, we have now got a new exchange listing for Casper, Ascendex. Why is Ascendex very interesting? Because Ascendex actually already listed some KRC20 meme tokens. I'm talking Nacho. I'm pretty sure some other ones as well. So Ascendex is now, after launching the memes first, now decided to list Casper, and it's starting today, as we can see, April 10th, 10 a.m. UTC, which has already been and gone. Withdrawals will start tomorrow, April 11th at 10 a.m. UTC. So right now, it gives people the ability to start buying on Ascendex Casper and then withdraw it from the exchange tomorrow. So it could therefore mean we start seeing a bit of a bigger pullback tomorrow when withdrawals are actually allowed, by the Women's Health News type thing. Again, it's not a bad thing to see. I think Ascendex is not the biggest exchange. I can't spell. ASC. I knew I was misspelling that. Which we can see Ascendex is right here, 27. So it's got 1 billion 24-hour trading volume with 1.1 million weekly visits. So it's not too bad. It's not a bad exchange. It's not the biggest. But again, it's a good thing to see more Dodge of a Casper, no doubt. You can't even see here, sorry. It's a good thing to see all doubt, more Dodge for Casper in that regard. And actually, speaking of exchange, we've got some more updates regarding that as well. So it kind of leads on to that. So here for Casper Door, 2.2 million blocks are left for Casper to upgrade to 10 BPS on the 5th of May. Not far off now. And, it's going to be it's going to be a big day for Casper, no doubt. Will it cause a price pump? I'm personally under the impression that it won't. But again, anything can happen. But it's still going to be a historic day for Casper. It is a literal day where Casper makes history, because what's happening right now has never ever been done before. And it's not just me saying that for the sake of saying that. This is literal crypto history being made right now. Having a scalable proof of work that can scale to the speed of proof of stakes while remaining completely decentralized and secure. That's never been done before. This is historic moments coming out in about 25 days' time. And we're going to be here for it. Very, very interesting, no doubt. And we're seeing across a lot of exchanges also preparing for this hard fork while they're switching over their nodes as well. But we can see for Casper Daily, which is very interesting as well, which is quite bullish. The exchange holdings of Casper have actually dropped by 500 million Casper this month alone. So a sharp decline we're seeing, which is very good to see, because this therefore suggests that Casper is moving off exchanges. Roughly 500 million Casper has been withdrawn. That's not a small shift. Whether it's going into cold storages or private wallets, one thing is clear: supply on exchanges is shrinking. This often reflects long-term conviction or preparation for utility use, and it reduces immediate sell pressure. Less capital on exchanges, tighter liquidity equals increased sensitivity to demand. Basically meaning that when the demand for capital starts to come back again, which for me, 10 BPS around the corner, smart contracts around the corner, stablecoins around the corner, market reversal around the corner, when the demand comes back, Casper could have an even more volatile breakout than we were originally anticipating, because the exchanges is leaving the exchanges more and more, so therefore they can't manipulate the price of Casper as much as well. So all in all, very, very good news. And again, these sort of exchanges, the likes of, the top ones, the Binances, the Coinbases, the OKXs, for me, again, it's in due time. They will list Casper. I don't need to touch more on that. We kind of know that factor anyways. It's a matter of time. They'll probably choose the market momentum to choose that as a time to list Casper, alongside that around their announcements as well. And for me, that could come soon enough. We'll get into these post-name moments as well. Could come soon enough. Beforehand, though, we'll get into the title of today's stream, which is the Whitehouse apparently is running a Casper node. Although I guess my browser wants to freeze. Oh, that's fantastic. So my whole right side monitor is now frozen. There you go. Okay, that's fantastic. So once I show that news, I'm going to close that website down because that website's lagging out my computer. But we can see here, so Casper Daily highlights that a Casper node detected near the White House. In a surprising development, the Casper node has been identified operating within the geographical bounds of the White House in Washington, D.C. While it remains unclear whether the node is part of an official operation, the proximity to one of the most secure and influential locations in the world is, of course, raising eyebrows. It could be a government-affiliated test, a coincidence caused by IP geolocation quirks, like a VPN or something like that, or simply a nearby enthusiast running the node. Again, it's tough to really say. Captain Sats highlights here. Let me tell you something tremendous, really fantastic. Okay, so I think this is partly more so a joke. I'm just reading it now. But anyways, point being is we're seeing apparently that there is a node for Casper being run in the White House. And it's raising eyebrows as highlighted on Casper Daily here. But the thing is, this apparently is not new news. This is a 2-year-old Reddit forum. Casper node in the White House just found a YouTube short that pointed out that there's a Casper node running from the White House as seen in the photos below. It was taken off the node map of cas.fyi, which is of course is where we see the KLC20s, the wallet addresses. It's a very, very trusted Casper website. And we're kind of wondering what's happening here. What's the truth of the matter is, why is it there? And of course, it being 2 years ago would mean that's when Biden was still in power. So it would have been under his administration. Now, as my man highlights here, apparently it's a rogue employee who ran a node against policy. And it's an old story. It is an old story. Now, the prior part, I'm not completely convinced about. I mean, again, I haven't got information about it. It's something I'm highlighting because I'm intrigued about it. But the actual reason for it, I don't exactly know. My man Greg, if he's here, I'm not sure right now, but he did do a little bit more in-depth research into it as well. And he highlights that the map is using a geolocation to try and drop a pinpoint, but it's just an approximate at best. So it's, Greg's thesis is that it could be someone using a VPN, running a node, and therefore it's to select a DC as the best location, and therefore just coincidentally put it in the White House. But it is no real way to confirm it. So it is kind of I guess it's kind of almost a so what type thing. Point being is we know Casper nodes are running throughout America. That's why Casper was added made in America by CoinMarketCap and also CoinGecko, because a lot of their actually they were founded, technically speaking, in America as well. Despite their founders being from Israel, they were founded in America thanks to DAG Labs and thanks to Polychain Capital, which is Coinbase exchange. And also because majority of their mining, being a proof of work, also is based in America as well. That's why they were added to the list here of Made in America. But the node running in the White House is definitely it's a conversation. It's a talking point, no doubt. But the truth of the matter is, it's going to be really, really hard to realistically find any confirmation unless you're in the White House yourself. Which, if you are, then can you tell me what Trump's doing, please? Because I have no idea myself, and I would like to know. But for me, fact of the matter is, if the White House aren't mining Casper, for me, a matter of time, they probably will. They're mining Bitcoin. Well, at least they have connections to mining Bitcoin. Marathon, of course, connections to BlackRock, connections to, deep roots in America. Marathon are also mining Casper as well. While they're not as bullish of a stance, they are still mining Bitcoin at Casper. For me, Casper mining is going to be a widely adopted thing, because even while Casper as a cryptocurrency is going to end up reaching, so minimal that it's not going to be worth mining, for Casper, you still be able to mine on the block DAG on the layer 1 to mine the transaction and gas fees and get the money through that. So you're not mining for Casper rewards, you're mining for the gas fees to make rewards that way. And if Casper, which I believe it will do, becomes massively adopted, then the sort of gas fees you'll be able to make will be, worth your while, worth mining. Right now, mining is definitely not profitable because the adoption and use case for Casper, the gas fees are not high, and equally the rewards for Casper are, dropping monthly. The hash rate right now has come back down to 868 petahash per second, which is much lower than we would like to believe. That is partly due to the big miners who, massively push the hash rate up really, really high, like Marathon, like Bitmain, like Ice River, who have effectively made it too unsustainable, so now it's coming down to where it should be. Even now, 868 is still good, still the second strongest proof of work in this space by a long way. But it's also partly because of the nodes that are switching to the new RK version 1.0.0. And we're currently at, I think, the nodes that are running on the new RK, new version, is, I think, just short of 20%. The public nodes, I think, are just above 50 now. So, and we've got until May 5th to see all of them migrate over to the new version. So we could see some more lackluster price hash rate going into May. Then once that's done, though, I'm optimistic that we'll start seeing it make a strong recovery, surpassing 1 extra hash and going from there as well. For me, again, hash rate is very, very important. And the adoption right now, while lackluster, makes sense because, again, the price is not going up. But when the price does go up, I'm sure we'll see the price come back as well. And for me, again, the price is going to come back. Crypto Reviewing made a post about this, about the layer 1 industry in itself is set to explode to a mind-blowing $1.4 trillion by 2030. And of course, that's the layer 1 industry. And of course, with crypto in itself, there are multiple other markets that are set to tap into that industry as well. Tokenization, cross-border payments, supply chain, energy, all these sort of markets can go through layer 1s, provided they have the right utility, or layer 2s on a layer 1, if you will. And they're highlighting here, which we should all be aware of, or believing that Casper is one of the top projects to watch out for. The fact that it is the modern day systems, the fact that it is able to solve the trilemma is a big deal. Everything else here as well. We already know about this sort of stuff, why it's unique. The block DAG element, the trilemma solver, it's quick, it's secure, and it has a lot more coming as well. A lot more developments coming through, which is what I'm going to get into right now. Again, building into the fact that while we can't confirm the White House element of their mining Casper, for me, they will in due time because it's going to be massively adopted because of what they are building. Chris Kang, the Casplex co-founder, made a post talking about how to interact with Casplex Layer 2s. Casplex Layer 2 provides two ways, depending on your needs/preferences. One is a canonical submission, so send your transactions directly to Casplex Layer 1. This means there's no middleman, no extra steps needed. This brings the following benefits, so a fully decentralized element and also anti-censorship by design, which is very good. And the second one is a proxy submission via a relayer, so you can use something like MetaMask or other EVM compatible tools, and your transactions go through the relay that bridges to the Casper. Depends fully on your approach, and this one is easy for Ethereum users, decentralized applications, usages, wallets, and integration. So it gives us, and this here I would personally prefer, because decentralization, anti-censorship design, it's just what crypto's meant to be. But this here will help in onboarding other ecosystems onto Casper, and then hopefully when they understand the importance of true decentralization, they'll switch from B to A. Of course, there might be some who just want to stay on B, because B also will make it easier for you to switch between chains as well. Of course, in Ethereum, and you'll see many more other chains building on top of Casper. You see bridges to Solana's one, I'm sure, and many, many more, no doubt. Maybe an XRP is going forward as well, who knows. But but it's still early doors, still very early doors, and there's more development coming out as well. More development stuff like this, for example, bringing messages on Casper because it's fast enough. That's why. Just because, why not? You know, having the fact that we can have encrypted centralized messaging on Casper is, you know, going to be quite incredible. You know, the fact that decentralization can give you so much security, so much privacy is something that is lost nowadays in our centralized world. You know, so it's going to be very reassuring. Again, these are all small little building blocks, but again, these all can, you know, merge together to fruition to become such a well-rounded ecosystem that ultimately just increases capital design more and more. Imagine, you know, all these institutions, for example, who want to have complete protection, because there are some out, you know, governments control everything. We all know that they, you know, the whole conspiracy, while also seemingly confirm that. When you think about it, your phones listen to you. You know, you're talking about dogs and cats and, you know, whatever, maybe food, and you start seeing ads come up for all the things you were talking about while not on your phone. There's definitely an element of tapping in. It's a bit conspiracy. It's not, I guess that's relevant, but I still think it's important to highlight this to lead into my point. The whole premise is people, you know, technology is listening, and governments and people can tap into what you're looking at as well. So having something that is truly decentralized and encrypted could give more protection to yourself, which is better, but also to the institutions who are trying to build their stuff and they don't want to have the overreach from the government and bad actors looking into what they're doing. True protection. That's what you can get with Casper going forward, hopefully, as well. More developments are coming out. This here, 5BB, one of the core developers in Casplex and Casper as well, highlights based market maker rollups. Some interesting ideas that got me excited, so they can see something in that as well. KRI made a very interesting post here, kind of a leak or a FOMO thing here, saying something new is coming. Casper is reaching new heights. And for me, I mean, I have no idea. They made a post about this actually beforehand, which was emojis of a spaceship, Earth, and a satellite. And then they posted this as well. So for me, it believes, are they partnering with like SpaceX, Elon Musk, something like that? Are they launching a space program? KRI? Are they just making another, you know, tangent joke about how their whole idea was based around Star Trek, and therefore they're trying to highlight that Casper's about to go into warp and go hyperdrive and just go really, really fast from here? Or is it something else entirely? Is it gigawatt? I cannot say. I cannot say. Hopefully we'll hear more though. I'm sure they're making an announcement about it very, very soon to bring more. I'm hoping it's a new project, and whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be very, very exciting. And this is of course very important because remember, KRI, DRI, they're one of the same. DRI does their energy. And we have heard on numerous occasions the KRI state that they've been presenting their projects and Casper to their institutional clients. That talks Shell, that talks DHL, Hyundai, Bosch, Eon Energy, Siemens Energy, and many, many more. And they talk frequently about it, gigawatt stablecoin, all these sort of projects. And so far, from their words, everything that's talked about has been very well received. And the institutions seem very, very optimistic about these projects, which therefore means their capital will start flowing through Casper as well, using Casper as a asset to help in their projects going forward as well, powered by Casper, which is very, very cool. I'll get into that post a little bit more in a moment. It's kind of a tangent thing as well, but ultimately right now, I say it time and time again, Whitehouse mining Casper, we can, you know, debate. There's no way we can properly confirm as such, unless you are in the White House yourself. But we can debate about it. But I do believe that Casper, once more, again, is in a very strong position right now. Markets are, you know, all volatile right now because, you know, headlines are still all focusing on tariffs right now, and there's still so much uncertainty, which there's a video about it on CNBC where you have the Fundstrat founder, Tom Lee, who's, you know, quite a well-renowned bullish individual who attends CNBC talks very frequently as well, and he was, you know, constantly saying that the market's due for a reversal following, you know, the Trump Liberation Day on the 2nd of April, which of course did not happen. And he's now come out saying, you know, he wanted to apologise after the Liberation Day. You know, it was worse than he expected, which I'm not surprised about. And the ultimate point here he makes is, you know, it's going to take some time for markets to regain some trust. And that I do agree with. I'm going to go through the other macro news in a moment. And the very, very good news regarding inflation as well. But the premise is right now, despite Trump pausing tariffs right now, ultimately right now there's so little trust in markets, in Trump right now. Some of us still are holding strong. I mean, I'm holding neutral. You know, I don't love nor hate Trump. I'm just going with the tide. I'm not getting emotional about the fact that whatever happening is happening. I'm just trying to analyze the market as it goes on. And I do believe right now, due to all uncertainty with China, Trump, and tariffs around the world, that is just a case of people are just unsure, and therefore trust has been lost, and therefore they're just kind of playing the wait and see approach, similarly like I'm doing right now. But for me, again, based on the information we got, I'll get into it in a moment. I believe Casper's going to rally soon. I think crypto hopefully is going to rally going into next month as well. And I just showcase all the big Casper news. And again, sort of stuff coming through. Whitehouse mining Casper. Whether it's true or not, we can't confirm. But I think in due time, based on what Casper's building and adoption is going to get, it will be a thing in the future. Maybe Trump becomes a Casper Maxi. Who knows? That'd be really insane. Welcome back, Eternal Night, bro. Welcome back to the channel. And you too, Kryptoni, my man. Hope you have a very, very good day so far. Ronnie, my man. Mr. Mars is mining Casper in the Whitehouse. He's a busy man. Yeah, the guy is everywhere. He's running on my treadmill downstairs in the basement to power the stream, and also running over Casper in the Whitehouse. He's insane. Casper holding good. Tau is super strong today. Yes, Tau is currently down, similarly not that much higher, 0.82%. And I've said, Tau dropping down to almost $160 is absolutely nuts. Tau is incredibly undervalued. Again, it's being an AI project. Those who are part of my executive community, where we talk about, crypto, institutional insights, and much, much more, we very much understand the significance of what's coming in the space regarding AI and much, much more. And that's why Tau is a pick that, I have very, very strong faith in. Of course, I've been saying it in this channel for a while, but I have further proof of why in this community here. Alongside, we do trades, educational content, the weekly live streams, institutional alpha research documents, and so much more. So if you want to find out a lot more, which I, obviously I recommend, but to understand more, to get yourself more conviction on what's coming to the space, to be prepared for the inevitable reversal. Because for example, the CPI data I'm about to talk about right now, I let the executives know firsthand first. So you also get the first-hand advantage as well before the rest of everyone else. So if you want to find out, again, more about the community, links down below in the description, also my homepage here as well. But if you don't want to, you can join for 7-day free trial, join for free, of course. But if you don't fancy checking out the executives just yet, the what page just yet, the VIP group just yet, again, that's perfectly fine. Come check out the free community. If you like the free community, then try and see if you can get a little bit more exposure. And I'm sure it'll be worth your while. So far, everyone who's in there said nothing but good things, and I'm very, very pleased with it so far. And it's only going to get better from here. But yeah, Tau for me is a big project, like Casper as well. And other projects in the space as well, I'm sure also do very, very well for its decentralized nature, for its AI nature, for its just institutional adoption. Sui for one. I think Sui is going to do well this cycle because of its partnerships and VC backing, and it's got decent technology. In comparison to Casper, I still think Casper's better by quite a margin. It's just not as got a much adoption just yet because it's still early. But I think Casper's going to prove itself to be a much more superior project going forward than Tau. Similarly, it's decentralized, but also it is AI, which is big as well. And there's many more projects that are also, that's another benefit of the community here. I have some hidden gems in here. And we're proposing some more as time goes on as well, hidden gems in the community as well. Sui is doing a bit worse. Yeah, Sui is also not doing so great today, but again, I don't think it's going to do too badly. It's just, it's going with the tides right now. All assets right now are not doing very well. Ethereum dumping 9% is insane. It's very, very insane, actually. And actually probably just coincide to the institutional belief and sentiment. Again, I mentioned it, I think, 2 or 3 or 4 streams back where we covered a seminar in our weekly live stream in the VIP group, which was institutional sentiment on assets like Solana and Ethereum and Bitcoin, the big ones, and how they feel about them. And what we discovered there has also given us some insight on what to look forward to and what to look out for in the rest of the cycle and onwards as well. So ETH coming down so much is surprising, but at the same time, based on what we heard in the community there, the weekly live stream, the seminar, I'm also not too surprised. Being very vague, because again, if you want to find out more, the benefits of such are in the VIP group. Again, go check that out in the description or on my homepage as well. You can do a 7-day free trial, so you can get a little peek behind the curtains. You can watch there for 12 hours worth of live stream content that have been re-uploaded there for free. And if you like what you see in there, then maybe worth your while to come and check it out longer term. Welcome back, all in, bro. Hey, hope you're good. I'm feeling great today, my man. Thank you very much for asking, and hope you're doing very, very well as well. Just started running my own node in Mexico, and I'm solo mining it. I can't seem to find any nodes in Mexico. I cannot confirm regarding the node element of things because I'm not. I mean, I understand the elements of mining and nodes and whatnot, of course, for Casper, but I'm not as in tune to that as some people in my community. Again, the Casper community themselves, I'm sure we've got people who know more about the nodes. I know Tony and Toggle, aka Honey, and I'm sure Kryptoni as well, also are very well versed with the node element. But I mean, bigger for you on it, honestly. You know, being one of the solo miners for Mexico is huge, and again, proof that Casper's adoption is going worldwide. Will it continue going more so? I think it will do. Right now, mining's not very profitable, but I think, again, it's a matter of time. When the price returns, I'm sure the miners will return as well. Whitehouse node is a VPN. I mean, yeah, for me that makes the most logical sense, right? For me, it's the most logical thing for it to be a VPN. We cannot confirm as such. At least I've heard no confirmation as such. We can just speculate about it. But for me, is the Whitehouse actually mining Casper? Chances are not. But is it going to happen in the future? Chances are possible. But I would like to believe it's more so a VPN. Either way, that's a very, very sly thing to do. Or maybe it's not even intentional, you know. But imagine having a VPN in the Whitehouse is crazy. Whitehouse miners might just be based on zip code, where the miner is every zip code. Every zip code has a center point, if you're looking at the map. Again, all these, yeah, I mean, the whole premise is, this is the, you know, it was the title of the stream, you know, talking point about the fact that there's a node seemingly in the Whitehouse. But the question ultimately comes down to, is the Whitehouse themselves mining Casper? Or is it just a VPN or a zip code or something like that? For me, it's likely the latter. You know, chances that, you know, Trump, and even then, this is back from when Biden was in power, the chances that Biden or, you know, Whitehouse was mining Casper, very, very small. Very, very small. Especially because Biden hated crypto in general. For me, it's just a nice talking point. But also to identify once more that Casper, I guess, is just everywhere. You know, the noding element, the mining is very, very important. And I can also then correlate to, again, the fact that there's potential maybe in the future that this node ends up being legit, that there's someone in the Whitehouse who does mine Casper because of what Casper's building. So again, just I covered already all the stuff coming through, the encrypted element, the base MM rollups, the KRI, you know, what they're building, everything else as well, Crescendo again, and much, much more as well. Is Casper's in a very strong spot. Welcome back, Falcon, my man. Welcome back to the channel. My miner, I'm tired, boss. Yeah, I'm sure. I am sure. It's too damn bad. Yeah, I love it. Holes. Those who get the Holes reference, I love it. One of my favourite films, honestly, from way back when I was younger. I think EVM and smart contracts will cause move, and stablecoins and Casper will be a big pump. I am inclined to believe to agree with you, Eternal Knight. I think 10 BPS will be a huge update for Casper, no doubt, but I don't think that 10 BPS will cause the price pump. I think it will lay the foundation for more adoption to start coming through in preparation for the EVM and the stablecoins that will come on Casper. I think EVM and stablecoins will bring more use cases to Casper, more developers, more institutions to build on Casper, and that will drive demand and price as well. So I think, yeah, 10 BPS will be huge, but I think the EVM, smart contracts, and stablecoins will be the market moves for Casper. And then, of course, following that, you'll see the tier 1s jumping on board, the Binances, the Coinbases, the OKXs, and that will further drive Casper price higher as well. Welcome back, Buffalo. My man, working very, very well. Can it just be someone's cell phone? I mean, again, it could be. You know, I think it comes down to most likely just a VPN or something like that. I believe the map only shows the public nodes. It might also be the case of public node instead. What's with the headline? The headline is ultimately referring to this post here from Casper Daily, which it's reoccurring like it's news, but it's not actually new at all. It's apparently quite dated, 2 years old, but it's, you know, it's one of the first times I'm actually hearing about it. I saw it and I was like, oh, it's kind of interesting. And then, you know, it started popping up in my community, in my free Discord server earlier, and we were talking about it a little bit. And basically came to the conclusion that it's, you know, it's interesting to talk about and we can speculate about it, but it's mostly just, you know, a VPN or something like that. Would be amazing if you see nodes inside BlackRock and Klaus Schwab's house. Oh yeah, it would be, you know, definitely a talking point. Although I would be surprised if that happens, because I feel like BlackRock or Klaus Schwab would probably just more so go to, like, you know, Marathon, and just, you know, because they're shareholder of the Marathon, just go there and mine it that way, you know. Andy isn't here. He's probably buying more. Yeah, you know, I haven't seen Andy today actually. I'm sure we will see him later on, and yeah, he'll definitely be buying more. If not, I mean, again, he might just be waiting. You know, I know his Casper to get blocked on. He's getting withheld or held up on a CoinEx, so hopefully it's been freed up by now. I met Andy. I'm sure Andy's lurking about somewhere. There's more than 20k nodes, but only around 220 nodes are public. Well, I mean, there you go again. So we can't be for sure exactly where all the mining taking place right now. But yeah, welcome back as well, DD, my man, and Wing Kong, everyone else to the stream. And Alyssa, you too. Great to catch the live. Casper's holding out well. Yes, it is very well right now. It's one of the few that's actually pumping, apart from XCN, which is just going parabolic right now. I mean, it's extremely undervalued. Well, XCM is extremely like small, like it's a low to mid cap asset right now after seeing an 85-90% correction, from its all-time high. We had a nice run following its announcements. It came back heavily and now up to X in the past 2 days, following the tariffs and then following what's happening today, which I'm not too well versed in what's happening today to make XCM pump. I might make a video about it, but I made a video on XCM, whether it's a bust or a gem. I made it a few weeks back, I think, about a month ago now, double or dust. And for me, it's a video that, it kind of gives a general outlook on what XCN is, so maybe worth, tapping into it if you want to know more about it, and then decide if you want to invest into it or not. It's completely up to you. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just covering the news. But I think XCN is one that, due to its correlation to the similar like XRP and XLM, it could, again, gain adoption. Is it going to explode and, become a top 10 type thing? I'm a bit skeptical about that. But if you want to diversify into having something that may have a higher multiplier, again, it's potentially there. There are multiple assets out there that can do that. XM may just be one of them. Tether coming to the Casper network, imagine when people in Africa, India, Southeast Asia, and South America come to the network. Oh yeah, no, like stablecoins are so huge because it gives so much more. It makes the first world country quality of life a lot easier, and actually gives much more benefits to the third world country, letting them actually connect to the first world a lot easier as well. So it's huge, stablecoins, no doubt. And of course, Tether being on Casper is very, very big as well. Despite the regulatory uncertainty with Tether, shall I say, there's a lot of, because due to all the regulations coming through, Tether's been delisted a lot, like across MiCA and Europe and whatnot. So Tether's coming online, which is good. I've heard that USDC Circle also might be bridged to Casper as well, which will be a lot better. Tether's bigger, of course, so I prefer Tether in that regard, but the lack of I guess the lack of trust is how I'm going to say with Tether, due to the regulations from institutions, could cause some issues with them going forward. But I'm sure by that point, when it becomes an actual prevalent issue, Casper will have Circle and many other prevalent stablecoins, as well as their own one, and Gigawatt, going through their platform anyways. But anyway, before I get into some more questions, I'm going to get into the macro news right now, because again, it's very important to cover right now. So the first one here is regarding the tariff news once again, very important once more. Apparently China and the European Union have agreed to start negotiations to abolish EU tariffs on China's electric vehicles. So interesting. I don't think this is the reason why we're seeing correction in the market today, but it's interesting to see that China and America are still going at it from the looks of things, and China are now seeking agreements to other nations to remove the tariffs. So this is, if I'm honest, probably quite a smart play from China, trying to say, go to the other nations and say, yeah, the tariffs you have with us, let's remove them, and therefore inclining more business with China directly as opposed to going through America. I think, again, it's the uncertainty right now, and as Tom Lee highlights here, the lack of trust that's happened right now as well. It's just kind of left it as a massive grey area right now. So the markets right now are just still, riding this uncertainty, if you will, and waiting for some more confirmation, to which that confirmation could come through very, very soon. Due to the next following announcements, the White House says inflation is down, jobs are up, and the golden age of America is underway. And equally, Trump has been asking the Supreme Court if he can fire Jerome Powell. Now, I don't think he can, although I may be proven wrong, who knows. But I know the reason why he's asking this, because Trump wants to cut rates, he wants to make money, and Jerome Powell is saying no. Which I think I would like to see him start printing money right now. I was like, no, it's good he's holding off, but from what I've seen so far from the data, why he's holding off right now, I don't know. I don't know why he's holding off right now. He's claiming uncertainty due to the tariffs, but, uncertainty of inflation due to the tariffs, but so far, tariffs have, Trump's been in office for over 2 months, almost 3 now. Tariffs have been in play, shortly, and even then they're not really in play right now. It's kind of a bit of, again, it's all over the place, but so far inflation has been coming down. And that's proven in the next few documents that are going to hopefully not crash my PC. First off is the US Core Consumer Price Index CPI data, which highlights that the forecast was 3%. Previously it's 3.1, but it came back at 2.8%, which is, 0.2% lower than forecast. That is actually a massive, massive drop. That is very, very bullish. Furthermore, the bureaucrat of labor statistics also highlights not the core CPI, just an actual CPI data, which even in the actual CPI data for March, these both are coming back from March last month, highlights that it came back 0.1% lower as well. The natural CPI data came back at 2.4% as opposed to the 2.5% expected. So CPI was 0.1% lower and core CPI was 0.2% lower. This is very, very bullish news for crypto. Very bullish news. This is what I wanted to see, and therefore it further collides with my predictions that we might see the markets chop sideways for this month due to uncertainty of tariffs and whatnot, but then leading into May, June time, with inflation being so low and the next FOMC meeting being in May, because inflation's low as well, and the tariffs have not caused an effect on it seemingly, that could also incline Jerome Powell to actually start cutting rates and turn towards QE. QE may take a little bit longer, but rate cutting, sure. You don't cut rates because it causes inflation, but inflation's coming down, then you can afford to cut rates. And seemingly inflation's coming down, month on month. So this could incline more rate cuts coming soon. And again, if it ends up being another, flash crash type event that we saw recently, with all of this, markets with tariff news, that might also indicate or incentivize a emergency rate cut to stop the markets from capitulating so badly. And if inflation's coming down, then it's not that much of a cause of concern for that matter anyway. So again, the data here highlights to me that inflation's coming down, which is good, which is coincided with what the Whitehouse is saying here as well. The jobs are up. We saw the job data come out beforehand a few weeks back. No, not even a few weeks back. It was a few days back. A few days back, the job data came out, and it highlighted that jobs are up quite considerably. When was it? It was on the 4th of April, so almost a week ago now. The job data came back, and the non-farm payroll, the unemployment rate was up a little bit, but the non-farm payroll came back at 82,000 more jobs created than expected. So jobs are going up quite considerably, and inflation is actually going down. So right now, that is really, really bullish and reassuring news. And therefore, does make you ask the question, why is Jerome Powell still holding off? He claims it's the tariffs and inflation, but the tariffs I understand. He's blaming that because he's unsure about the tariffs, it may cause inflation, but evidently inflation is not, being effective right now. So what we're waiting for, again, I don't know. And that's why I guess Trump's asking this. And we've seen, again, from the likes of JP Morgan, from the likes of Kathy Woods, which showcased yesterday's video stream as well, all these smart money as well also kind of demanding and asking, Jerome Powell, you need to take action right now. Like, you've been holding off for whatever reason. To be fair, Jerome Powell's always late. He's typically always late. He's always late. Does a really, really last minute. But I think it is, hopefully a matter of time that Jerome Powell will cut rates. If we see another flash crash type thing, he might have to do it as an emergency. And because the data is seemingly come back quite reassuring, this could be reassuring for rate cuts coming through soon as well. And again, crypto is still in a strong position right now. We can see here the pro-Bitcoin Paul Atkins has now officially been confirmed as the new SEC chairman, which is great. Of course, Mark Yada's done a great job with Hester Pierce by his side, but Paul Atkins being Trump's nominee has now officially been confirmed, and he now will be part of the office. So we can see here from Eleanor Terrett. So he says that the Senate will send Atkins' confirmation to the White House, where Trump will sign it off. Once it happens, Atkins will officially be sworn in. We don't exactly know when, it's going to happen. Not sure when exactly going to happen, but, in the final stages now. So Paul Atkins will take office very, very soon. And again, as I highlighted in the stream yesterday, he has connections seemingly to Casper as well, which is, once more, very, very bullish. Another bullish crypto news as well. The New Hampshire House has passed Bitcoin Reserve Bill. Right now the markets are in disarray because of the uncertainty of tariffs. Unfortunately, tariffs are driving the markets, and it's so unfortunate because all the news coming out is actually really bullish for crypto. Really, really bullish, but due to manipulation and also probably due to just retail and emotional sentiment, all everyone's looking at right now is tariffs. They're ignoring the really good and reassuring and bullish news about the policies being passed in America for crypto, the new administration and admission seemingly from Paul Atkins is coming into play as well, the fact that Bitcoin reserve bills are getting passed as well, the fact that the other very key metrics for traders being like the inflation data and the job data, they're all coming back much better than expected as well. But because tariffs are all everyone cares about right now, they're driving the markets. So it makes us understand what we've got to look out for right now, but it also makes us understand more so for a long-term perspective what we need to pay, plan accordingly for as well. Short-term, we understand just focus on tariffs. That's all we need to care about. But long-term, or longer term, not necessarily long term months away, but just the longer term, understand that the other stuff that really matters, the inflation, the job roles, the policies and whatnot, the regulations and whatnot, all lead towards the imminent starting of rate cuts and QE, as well as green lighting for institutions to start hedging into crypto due to the regulatory clarity and framework that will be given with crypto in the next couple of months. So my long-term plan for crypto is still up from here. Again, we could see a black swan, something unexpected, some massive crash due to, a pissing contest again with Trump and China or whatever it may be. And we see Bitcoin and Casper come down drastically. Anything's still possible right now. Although in saying that, the Fed most definitely will start issuing emergency rate cuts in QE if it gets to that dire state. So until we get that happening, no matter what happens in the market, I'm still optimistic that we'll start seeing some upward momentum. We might see the markets chop sideways for the next couple of weeks, going into May, and we start seeing make a reversal following the M2, which we can see if we look here. Okay, fine. I don't like this chart. I'll be so for real. It's so weird sometimes. There, so it might follow in that regard here. So it might chop sideways for a little bit and then start rallying, latter half going up higher to surpass all-time highs going into like June, July time. Again, the graph does not follow it strictly. The M2 has got 80% correlation. So it's quite a good indicator, but it's not, you shouldn't live and die by it. I don't live and die by any indicator, as you know. I understand the power laws and understand the other indicators, the RSIs and all that sort of stuff. I understand them, but I don't live by them because, again, fundamentals for me always matter a lot more than just technical analysis. This is a good element of indicators and analysis, but fundamentals always matter a lot more. This is partly fundamental because, again, it's money in the economy, global economy. But again, for me, what matters more so right now in the short term is this tariff malarkey. And then, what matters in the more so longer term is how the economy is looking, which again, we're seeing information regarding the inflation and the job roll and all that sort of stuff. And then for Casper, Casper being in a very strong position, no doubt as well. Casper does, you can argue Casper does somewhat follow the supply as well, I guess. If we, go here, we can see that Casper has somewhat followed it, I guess. Obviously Casper kept going up against the M2, came down, then it pumped in connection to the M2 here, and now it's come back down here, trading down here. And therefore Casper may follow in Bitcoin and then follow up going here as well. We'll have to wait and see, of course. We have to wait and see. Interestingly, I want to also just look at the Casper Bitcoin real quick as well. We can see that Casper right now is... That's not the right thing I'm looking for, is it? That is not what I'm looking for. Casper, is it just, it's just that, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Yes, we can see right now Casper is definitely rallying against Bitcoin today, understandably, because Bitcoin's down 3.5%. Casper's up 1%. Currently it's down 30% from, initial launch. So it's 30% under Bitcoin in value, but I still think Casper, again, by the end of the cycle and going into the next few months as well, will start outperforming Bitcoin and going up again as well. Things are looking up in general for Casper. Casper's holding very, very strong as well, which is very reassuring again. And, this clickbait headline, if you maybe say, the clickbait title, you can argue about it. I think, again, it's interesting. It's a talking point. For me, in the future, it's a possibility if it actually is the case or not, based on what they're building again. And the developments coming out again. We're months away, weeks away from some of the biggest developments of our lives for Casper. And our convictions hope we're going to hold strong. Which is why I'm going to quickly say, I haven't spoke about comments in a while. I apologize. I'll get to the comments in a moment, but I want to quickly segue onto this, and I'm not meaning it by any malicious intent because I don't want drama. I can't be asked for it, but I'm sure many people have spoken about this already a lot. I want to give my 2 cents on it. Of course, we are aware of the issue or situation, let's just say, between Crypto John, Archetype, and Casper, and how they faded it to go into memes, particularly Turbo. It was a decision by them. Was it a smart decision? Well, we can debate that, we can argue that. I would argue no, because memes are more risky, and seemingly they've come to agree as well. I haven't watched the video, but apparently Crypto Dom highlighted that he made a mistake, and he is now never going to invest into meme coins again, which is a fair enough comment to make, because all memes have capitulated and crashed. That's partly due to Trump's meme as well, actually, truth be told. For me, I have invested in some memes. and I would invest in memes again. It sounds weird to say that, I know, but I do. Memes are, if done accordingly and done with knowing the risks, and knowing, for me, I would not switch my Casper bag to a meme bag. No, I wouldn't do that. But I would potentially have some extra dry powder that I might just use to try and circulate the capital into the memes and maybe get some extra gains to put back into Casper. That's something that I have done already, and I don't think it's a bad thing to do, but I wouldn't ape everything out of Casper into Turbo like John did and Archetype. It was their decisions as investors. It didn't pan out, and anyone who did get affected by it, of course, my hearts to go out to you. But that's precisely why, once again, I highlight again the importance of doing your own research and don't follow people blind. Even myself, don't follow me blindly. I might provide a lot of very informative content, and I'm sure I've had a lot of people who've sung my praises and said I'm really good, and I appreciate it very much for your love and support. But again, don't follow me blindly. Choose what I say and use it as reference points to then go away, do your own research. This Whitehouse stuff, for example, that's a talking point. Go and do your own research about it to find out if it's true or not. Don't just take whatever I said for a word for it, despite I give quite a vague viewpoint of it. The stuff about, this tower stuff, while again it's proof here, so you don't really need to go away and look into it. Me saying that this could lead to more rate cuts soon, it's true, but don't just take my word for it. Go and learn about it. So therefore you understand more so. I'm just highlighting again as the importance of you are your own investor. You can use people as reference points to kind of help you, to help devise your own trading strategy, but don't follow people blindly. It's one of those things, and I do, again, my heart's got to people who did sell, but for me, again, selling Casper, after how bad Casper did, I think the selling of Casper happened, that whole malarkey happened around here, I think. Around this area here, when they sold Casper for Turbo, and, speaking of which, Casper has come down for 8-9 months, down 70%, 75% at the bottom, currently down 66%. It's not done well, of course. We can admit that, but at the same time, don't be emotional and be logical and look at every other project in this space. Casper's done badly, yes, true, you're right, but look at every other project. Ethereum, from its local high, not even all-time high, by the way, local high, it's down 62%. That's Ethereum. All-time high, which is up here, Ethereum's down 69%. So actually, Casper is not down as much from all-time highs. That's Ethereum. You could do the same thing for Sui, which is currently down, I think, about 55% from all-time highs, 60%. Yeah, 61%. Sui, you got C, you got Tau, all these projects, you've got the big ones, Algorand, XLM, HBAR, these ones, you can look at all of them. XRP is a outlier due to the lawsuit, so it's a bit of a weird one. That's only down, I think, about 35%. Okay, about 40% now. Wow, okay, I can be a little bit further. But either way, point being is, Casper's not done well. Yes, I agree. But I have no reason to believe Casper won't do well in the future because they are building stuff that's going to give it use case and adoption. And in terms of price action alone, you can't make an argument about Casper's price being bad for a long time because every project is now doing terribly from all-time highs. So Casper's in the same boat. All Casper did is correct earlier. It corrected like 3 or 4 or 5 months earlier than everything else, but it's still come down more, gradually. Everything else has come down like a straight arrow. Casper's come down more gradually. Now, it's been frustrating, no doubt, but for me, what Casper's building was coming out in due time for the market to start reversing, in my belief as well. Casper's going to do extremely well. And of course, in regards to the memes are inherently very, very risky. I would never, ever, 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 ever size a stupid amount of capital into memes. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I don't think it's a smart thing as an investor to do. I think it's too risky. I wouldn't mind allocating a portion of my portfolio into it to make a quick gain potentially. And then, I have my whole risk. I mean, again, this information, by the way, of like my risk strategy, if you will, that's also available in the community here as well. VIP group, because we did trade memes, and we do still trade memes occasionally, and we'll probably be talking about some DGEM Solana memes again soon, because they have been starting to make a small comeback. Of course, high risk, high to reward. But again, it's just, I would only invest dry powder into it as a little element to maybe, and again, not money that I'm willing to lose. I would never invest my capital bag into it. That's just my 2 cents on it. And understandably, I'd understand if Crypto John and Archetype and everyone else got put off by memes in that regard. Memes did capitulate. But that's part of the quote-unquote game that is crypto. Will you see Turbo come back? Who knows? Turbo currently is down, I think, 90% from all-time highs. Yeah, almost 90% from all-time highs. It's crashed. Will it come back? I mean, it's one of the bigger meme tokens, no doubt. So it's a possibility of such. And if it does come back and goes to all-time highs, well, you're looking at a, 8, 9x. So that's, pretty impressive. But again, if you were to choose to do that, not financial advice, I would just do a very small portion. If I've, my portfolio, I'm talking like 0.05%, if smaller than that. That's probably the most I do. For something that I haven't got a lot of conviction into. There are better memes out there personally than Turbo as well. I'm not, by any means trying to put down Turbo, but I don't know Turbo enough to put conviction behind it. But again, that's just my little, 2-cent situation. And I guess once more, the importance of fundamentals. Memes are fantastic for making quick gains, but they're also inherently very, very risky. And I'm sure memes will come back in cycle. The meme bubble burst, and that caused Solana to capitulate. And again, that's something we mentioned in our seminar in the VIP group, which again was very, very insightful. So once more, if you want to check it out, links are in the description. Also on my homepage, YouTube here. Find out a lot more in there as well. But I think Casper again, I think we are evidently seeing right now with the regulators coming through that the market is starting to shift towards a fundamental utility cycle as opposed to just hype. Hype's now not the thing anymore, or it's shifting out of hype now. So with that being said, there will still be an element of hype, no doubt, but with Casper bringing out real use case, with the KRI building on top of Casper, with layer 2s coming out to Casper, with Casplex and Igra and many, many more other chains bridging to Casper as well, the use case is going to come through. Casper demand's going to rise, and the price will therefore rise with it. That's my belief again. Utility is an important thing. That's why, and of course the institutional backing as well will help out as well. That's why Sui I think will do well, because it's got some good utility so far. While not decentralized, it's still got some good utility and it's got VC backing. XRP the same position as well. So I have faith they'll do well this cycle. Long-term picks, I'm not so sure right now, but I think they could do well this cycle. And we'll just have to see realistically. We'll have to see. But again, Casper, that's my 2 cents on it. And I'm not surprised that this video has been made from Crypto John, truth be told. It's the last time we invest into memes. I'll be honest, I don't think that's true. I think he'll do it again. Because, memes, it's the little... the devil on your shoulder who speaks to your head like, memes are a great way to make money. It's not. Well, it is, but it's not. It's a way to, potentially lose it all or make a massive 25x. It's gambling. The way I see it potentially is, you can look at it as this whole market's very volatile, so it's very risky. So again, do your own research. But I can view it, me personally, as crypto is investing. Meme cryptos are gambling. And sometimes gambling is fun, sometimes it works out. I had a lot of fun trading Solana memes and stuff, a few months back when the market was still very booming, and I made a lot of money from it. I made a hell of a lot of money from it, and I put that money into Casper. And then some of them I held, and some of them went down. It's risk to reward. But I ended up being very profitable from it. Actually, I think I might still be in profit. I don't know. Haven't checked that wallet in a while because I just left it alone because market's kept crashing anyways. And most of it I took out into stablecoins anyways, just to de-risk. But again, I wouldn't have sold my capital back for it. No way. So if you did, I apologize on behalf of whoever I need to apologize for. That's my fault anyways. But just again, don't trust people blindly and do your own research. TVL will explode in 2 to 3 months. I mean, I think that, the volume for Casper is definitely going to explode soon enough as well. I think Casper is, again, in a prime position right now. Again, one of the few assets right now that is actually pumping. I just have thought what would happen is someday Satoshi posts from his account and calls Casper successful with Bitcoin. That would be, that would be amazing, but also disastrous, right? Because if that happened, the Bitcoin maxis would switch. You'd see a massive divide of those who switch from Bitcoin to Casper, but also people who are just like, oh, this is complete rubbish. Bitcoin till I die. People are very stubborn. It'd be great for Casper, of course, but I would prefer that didn't happen, personally. I think it just, there's too many unknowns and complications that could cause to it. It'd be great for Casper, but it'd also be bad for the whole crypto market. So unless Casper took over the number one spot in that regard and, just took over completely, it could have some drastic, negative effects, let's just say. What does a node do? It's not the same as a miner, I guess. Node, I think, is just the miner. The miners use the node to mine Casper, to my knowledge. Look, node is part. This is node is private unless you open port. Okay, that's a bit technical for me personally, but I get it. Do we still have $1 plus target bull run? I mean, again, like I said, I don't do private predictions anymore. but I still think $1 is possible. That's all I say. I don't do price predictions anymore, but I do think. But if you're asking me, could it surpass $1? There's a potential it can still surpass $1. That's only a $25 billion market cap. $25 billion market cap is not that much. I owned my woman some cash, sent her some Casper via Kraken's Paylink. It was puzzily simple. I mean, that's the benefits of crypto. This is why crypto has become an inherent part of the financial system going forward, because sending crypto is so simple and it's quick and it's easy. And of course, Casper is going to be the evolution of crypto. You know, crypto is the evolution of money, and then Casper is the evolution of crypto. So, you know, great things to come, and that's why the smart money want to adopt crypto technology. Whitehouse wouldn't hold that on location, more likely at a federal facility. That's also true again. Yeah, I think it's more just a VPN type thing than actually the Whitehouse wanted Casper. Nodes are geolocated by IP address, not by advertising their street address. Oh, there you go. Again, this is a talking point more so than anything. You know, it's interesting to hear about it, and we can debate what's actually the reason behind it. But if the White House, you know, Trump or Biden at this point actually mining Casper, chances are not. Wallet 3 is Trump. Imagine if that was the case. I mean, we can look at the, you know, right now we can see that the wallets, we're seeing some more inflows from what I saw today, I think. Yeah, 517,000 is going up again. More inflows today, all across the board pretty much. This wallet number 2 did a 0, which therefore means they probably did a test transaction. Yes, 0.1 capital transaction test that happened earlier today, about 14 hours ago. So interesting once again, but yeah, we're seeing. I mean, even this wallet 3 did another test as well. So interesting to see some tests going about. We see some inflows here. 11.5 million Casper from 96, which is massive. That's double their supply. Double their holding, double their wallet. Even so, they put almost double on that day. And you're seeing many more inflows as well, which is very good to see. A node is not a miner. Nodes contains the blockchain. Miners connect to one of the nodes to receive the block template that they will mine. Oh, there you go. Again, thank you very much, Tony, to give that explanation there. It gives us some clarity as well. Nodes connect to other nodes to sync to the blockchain. This is what decentralization is about, not one that controls the whole blockchain. Okay, so yeah, it's a node adds to the decentralization of Casper. What happened to Crypto Galaxy? Does it any new videos? I don't think Crypto Galaxy really uploads videos much anymore. I mean, he's got his massive community, which he probably just does videos and connects to them. I mean, I say that, I don't actually know. I don't follow him. I think he did a live stream recently, which I mean, truth be told, most of the situation is right now, the markets aren't doing very well. Therefore, a lot of people are, you know, I mean, think about it. Casper content creators have kind of gone now. Most of them have gone now. They're not talking about Casper anymore. Now, for me, I stayed here strong because I believe in Casper and I have conviction in it and I believe it'll do well. And therefore, I'm hoping that my conviction will pay off when the market does recover for Casper. People will come to me as opposed to those who end up just coming back and just, you know, jumping on the FOMO train and just making a video about Casper again. It's going to happen anyways. You know, I can't stop that. But Crypto Galaxy, I mean, yeah, he did a lot of content, but you've got to understand as well, like, he's seemingly one man. You know, he's got YouTube and he's got his own community as well, which is a very big community. I'm praying that one day my community could be big as that. I like to believe my content in there is better, but, you know, that's just me personally. I know his community is very much based around the memes coin side of things. I think mine's based more on the information side of things. But yeah, again, I think I know he made a live stream, I think, yesterday. But he doesn't upload videos very much anymore either. And typically all of them are based around meme coins right now. But as the markets aren't doing very well, you know, making videos about projects where the markets aren't doing very well is very, very difficult. I would know. It's not easy to do, but you know, doing it is still as rewarding in my belief, and it also helps give people like myself and everyone else as well who are watching some clarity of what's going on and what we could expect going forward. I traded 35,000 Casper for Turbo by the time I came to my senses and had 12k Casper. Wow. Fair. Just one can say that is fair enough. Fundamental overhype. Yeah, I mean, that's how I've always felt personally. The previous cycles have been very much hype, different cycles, but going forward now with regulations coming into play, hype's not going to be a factor anymore, or it's not going to be as prevalent. It's going to be fundamentals and utility. everyone got screwed early with hype this time. Proper good thing. Yeah, completely. You're right, Tobias. I think everyone got. That's why Casper did so well. You know, Casper did this. All these people who got in here, and the reason why people hate Casper right now is because this was all massive. But this is all a lot of hype. This is all what Casper's going to build. But nothing came out yet for Casper properly. KLC20, the first, I guess, real significant thing that came out for Casper, didn't come out until here, till September. All of this here was just listings and FOMO. And then this whole pullback has been a lack of hype because there's no actual use case. Or not true. There's not enough use case. KLC20 did give it some use case, but it's quite lackluster. But they'll come back more so with smart contracts and stablecoins and 10 BPS. When the actual use case comes out, you'll see the adoption for Casper come back as well. I made money in the memes. Is public crypto ecosystem? Yeah. I'm guessing. I don't hate memes. I remember this when I first started streaming. I said I hate memes. I hate them. But after being in this place for more and more, and actually, because I used to only look at actual layer ones or actual infrastructure projects, and I thought memes were just not worth it. But after being in more ecosystems and being in more communities, I thought, you know what, actually, let's have a little, dip my toes into memes. And I actually thought, you know what, I wouldn't invest too much into it because again, it's really, really risky. But I think there is value in memes. It's a potential way to make money. While, again, it's more gambling than actual investments, but they're there for a reason. So I don't hate memes anymore, but I just I would never ever trade my infrastructure and fundamental bags for a meme coin. I'd invest extra. If let's just say I had $100 that I got just on the sidelines, and I wanted to invest or something like that, I might put $90 into Casper, and then or like $80 into Casper, split the net rest of the $18 into my other assets, and then just put $2, if not even less than that, actually much less than that if I could, into the memes. That's just me putting random numbers out of my head. But again, it's just my strategies of investing is just not putting too much into memes because it's just too risky. If you've got that capital, then by all means go for it. But I mean, again, not financial advice. I have more conservative plays in my head. No fees with Crack and Pay link as well. Again, that's huge. Huge. This is what crypto's about. Either minimal or no pay fees. As opposed to paying extortionate fees when you're doing fiat right now. Or Ethereum chain, for example. Welcome back, Beaver Man. Hope you're doing very, very well. Future Crypto Millionaires, you know it. It's a matter of time. We're going to be very, very bullish, very, very rich, very, very soon, I hope. But with that being said, that will be it for today's Daily Casper and Crypto live stream. I do plan to make a video later today. It's going to probably be on Sui, because I did see some very interesting posts about Sui regarding, I think it was the shark Kevin O'Lowry, I think. I might have butchered the name. And actually more institutional documents as well. So I might make a video on Sui later today. So I know you might not be Sui lovers, but it might be worth your while looking into it and see what's coming out to the space. And a lot more in the space to come as well. Yeah, if you enjoy the stream, as always, leave a like, share your friends for more. If you want to know about more crypto and other market centers, come check the free community here. Even more in-depth insight in the VIP group as well. Definitely worth your while. Again, links down below in the description. Also homepage here as well. Twitter's there as well. All links are there. Come check it out. Come follow the community and be part of what is to come. Inflation is very good today. So the inflation rate was very good today. So I'm expecting some good bullish momentum going into the next month as well. Time will tell. Have a great day, everyone. Good evening and good night. And you're very welcome. Stay logical. Don't be emotional. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care now.